Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm Shelly Curry. I'm a virtual assistant and I help other virtual assistants like you in their business, and I share my journey with you as well on my channel. I share vlogs, I tell you the pros and the cons, I tell you the ups and downs that I have on this journey. And so if that's something that you want to hear more about, that is what I'm all about here on this channel. I'm also a mom and I balance working and motherhood, and I always share my tips and tricks of how I manage that with being the most present mom to my kids ever. I love this career and I shout it to the rooftops because it has changed my life and I know it will change yours. And today we're going to talk about why I let go of my first client, because it's a big reason why. And I learned so many lessons from this client. I think the hardest clients are the most amazing ones because you learn so much. You put things in place so it never happens again. You learn your weaknesses and your strengths. And I'm going to talk to you about that today and what to look for when you are bringing in your very first client. So at the beginning, this client had a lot of red flags, but I was so excited to get started. I was shouting from the rooftops. I got my first client that I didn't look and see the red flags. So in the beginning, it was great. I had some good boundaries. I said I would only conversate in email, and I don't do that anymore. I tell my clients, we're gonna conversate in Asana or ClickUp, whatever they're using. I highly recommend you put that into your agreement of where you're going to communicate. But I made the first mistake of giving this client my personal phone number. Yes. And after a month of working together, she started calling me really early in the morning and really late at night. And in my agreement, I were very clear of my hours and my response times. Well, I take that back, not my response times, but I added that in. You should totally add that in your contract. But she started calling me really early in the morning, really late at night, and it was like emergency for everything. It was an emergency for me to send over documents. It was an emergency to organize something. It was an emergency to post on her social media. And at first, because I was so excited, I didn't care. I didn't care at all. And that was a mistake I made because I didn't put my boundaries up very clear for her to see. So my number one tip is to write in your contracts your boundaries, how long it's going to take you to reply, what is it going to look like for communication, where you're going to communicate, what is acceptable and what isn't acceptable. I learned that the hard way with this client. So again, as we continued to work together, she continued to call whenever, and that was just not okay. The second thing that she did was she would ravel me up in her personal life. So with my clients, I do love to get personal with them. I love to get to know them, their families, what they're passionate about. I love that. I love having talks about that. But there is a limit of what is okay in a work relationship. And these conversations would go into trauma and therapy. And instead of talking about her business, we were talking about her personal shortcomings and her personal issues. And it wasn't okay if I would say like, oh, I'm not okay talking about that. She would continue to talk about it. And then I would bill her for that time, and she would get upset because that was my time too. And so that was another red flag. Okay, and the biggest thing of why I let her go, which was the final straw, which I should have let her go a lot sooner, but again, I just was so happy to get my first client. What really kind of like, okay, this is not acceptable, I cannot continue this anymore, is she started to call me inappropriate, uncalled for names. And when she didn't get her way, she would just say a bunch of things that were very hurtful. And at first I just was like, okay. and I just went with it, and I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I allow someone to talk to me like that? I don't know why. I was just excited that this was my first client. But yeah, she started calling me names when she got upset. If I didn't meet a particular deadline that she had in mind, she would cuss at me. And I think it's okay, like if you don't meet a client standard, for them to have a conversation with you, but it needs to be respectful. Like it needs no name calling, no cussing you out. Like that is not okay. And so I was like, after the last time, this happened like 4 or 5 times, and after the last time I was like, okay, like this isn't going to work anymore. And I share this so that if you see this, it's really nice before you meet with a client or bring on a client to have a coffee chat, get to know them, really listen to their expectations, ask them what they expect of you. Like that is a really big question that now I ask every single client I onboard. Like, what is your expectations of me? What do you want things to look like? Because that is where you will find if this person has really good boundaries or if they don't have good boundaries. So yeah, that was my horror story of my first client, and I share this so that I know it's really exciting when you get your first client. I know it's really exciting when you have that discovery call and they are a yes, but I really want you to look out for yourself. And if you have any horror stories that you want to share them in the comments. And if you have any other tips that I did not mention in this video, share them below as well, because I would love to start this conversation. I think we can all learn from one another what is acceptable and what isn't. And so that brings me to the end of the video. I want to say thank you so much for watching my channel. If you found this valuable, please click subscribe. I share all the ups and downs of being a virtual assistant. I share my tips. I share how to get started. I just share this career that I love so much. So again, if you have any questions, let me know down below. Hit the subscribe button and give this video a like if you would love other virtual assistants are aspiring or wanting to become virtual assistants to see this video. All right, have a good day. Bye.